Hello and welcome, episode 2 of SoloFactory, season 2. As you can see, things have changed. I have, as you can see, put on this pretty large platform in place. And I've set up here a production line that's similar to what I had there, but I didn't have anything here before, but I have now got a platform hosting a dozen or so machines, I think, almost, nearly close to a dozen. What have we got on here? Let's see if we can get some height. Just point out what we've got here. I'm going to climb on top of... I'm going to climb on top of this. Does that give me the height? Not really. Alright, what have we got? So we've got as you can see, we've built the space elevator. So that's been built. And as you can see, the top right hand corner, we need to make 3 components for it. The first one of those that I'm focusing on at the moment is smart plating. That's the one on the left. That's the 500 of 1000. This machine is making it right here. This whole production line is designed to just make the smart plating. So it requires rotors, 2 per minute, and reinforced iron plates, also at 2 per minute. So basically on the left is reinforced iron plates, on the right is rotors. So left here we've got reinforced plate, and we've got grab those. So we've got basically a whole bunch of, just go back to the beginning here. We've got 2 iron ore streams coming in. We've got an iron ore there and there, both coming in, and this one is basically making, turns into ingots, turns those ingots into plates. Get over that, here we go. The other side comes in and also makes ingots. They then get split 3 ways. Into there to make ingots into both those things. That's making rods, that's making rods as well. The rods both go into here, get turned into screws. The screws joins the rods over there, and we get rotors. Now it's outputting, meant to be making 2 a minute. It's not running at full capacity. I haven't got enough actual iron ore being fed into it to make the screws at the right rate, but I'm not fussed how long it takes, so that's all fine. Other side here we've got ingots coming into here, rods again. Out of that comes screws into this. Other side just makes plates, and from that we get reinforced iron plate. They both get fed into this assembler, which is making the smart plating. That then gets fed along this belt into a merger here, which then gets stored in this container. And we've got the next set of 100, so let's go grab those. I'll come back to what else is coming to here in a moment. I just need to feed the machine, the big space elevator. Alright, 100. Now we've got 600 in there, so we're getting close. The other machines that are sitting here, you see we've got our copper ore from before. I think that was being made at the end of episode 1. I'm already getting lost with what I've done. So that's coming down to here, being fed into this single smelter, which is making 30 a minute. That then gets split out into here. Goes 2 ways. One goes into here to make wire. This one comes in here to make wire. Then come out of there into here to make cable. Both of those get fed into this same merger that the smart plating was using to be stored in here. So let's grab all of that. And then over on this other platform, we've just got a couple of machines that I use to make rods and plates if I need them, and to make ingots from just me picking up iron ore from various places. And we've got the smart hub, Got a external workbench, we've got the equipment workshop and the MAM, plus a couple of storage containers, which I want to grab. What did I just pick up? Cable, so we'll just grab all the cable. And we'll just put that across. We've also got an awesome sink, if I want to sink some excess stuff. I can just plonk it into that container, it'll feed into there, because we've got the awesome sink. Awesome shop, I should say. Right. Now, you're probably wondering how I'm powering all this, because you're not seeing any biomass burners around. That's because I've gone and set up a coal generation, which was something I wanted to look at. Oh, this is just making concrete. Just making concrete and store it in there, and we've got not much, but it'll do. Now, when we come through this, past this space elevator, you will see in the distance there, right in front of us, is a small little power plant area. So, what we've got here are 4 coal generators, all powered on. So, what we've got is 1, 2, 3, 4 coal generators. We've got coal coming in way down there. It's basically on the other side of that rock formation there. It's through a gap that goes through the middle of it. It's a long way away. I'm not going to walk on down just to show you. It comes in here, turns a left, comes up that little elevator lifter, and splits into 1, 2, 3, 4 to give us the coal we need, which is not much. 15 a minute each of these machines is using, so not much coal at all. So to feed the 4 of them, I needed just 60, and that's pretty much what I've got coming in, so it's good. The water, obviously you can see we've got water, so this is why it's placed here, is because we've got 2 water extractors. These are actually down clocked, if that's a term to use. They're running at just 75% each, making 90 water each, because that whole setup requires 180. Ooh, what's that? I'll just grab that while it's here. Cool. So if we come over here, this isn't particularly useful. Try this way. So each, as you can see, requires 50 water each. Sorry, no, 45 water each. You can see at the bottom there. 45 each. So 45 is 90. Double that for 4 is 180. Each of these is putting out 90 each. So they're pretty much running 100%, which is cool. They are, as I said, spec down, so they don't need to. They're not needing to. Yeah, normally they put out 120 each, so I figured the best way to balance them is just have 2 at 90. So that's good. Right. You can see they are fed into a. One goes into here. One comes across to here and joins, and there's our 180 combined. Now the reason why there's a biomass burner just sitting here, it's connected to the network, but it's not actually doing anything, because there's nothing drawing on it. I wonder why that is connected. This claims burning fuel. That's really odd. I'm going to turn it off. It doesn't actually need to be on. The reason why that is there, sitting there, is if I ever did manage to trigger the fuse at the main area, which then turned off all the power, I would need a power source to power these up first to get the water fed into these machines, the generators. There's enough coal on the belt run that it would just last a few minutes anyway, which would be enough power, enough time to get the water structures up and running, to then get the generators up and running, to then hopefully get the power up and running. So that's why that's sitting there, and there's a box of leaves and coal there if I want to feed one of these manually in the same scenario. So that's what that's all about. So that's basically what I did. So there's 4 of those running. That's 100. That's 75 each for 300 total. If we come into one of these things and just go, we can see that 300 is our maximum capacity in our production. If everything was running absolutely flat out, we'd be looking about 188.3 megawatts. We're currently consuming just around the 125-ish mark. It peaks and drops as as machines turn on and off as they etc. So that's what we've got so far. Now I've also unlocked quite a few of the tiers and milestones. One of which was to get coal generation. So I'll quickly go back to the hub and go through those. Just got my little ladder here. So, what have we got? Just picked up some iron ore then, so I might just feed this guy. Pick that up and grab that. What do I want? What do I need at the moment? It's making rods, that one. What I might do is just go split. Actually, I'll just split that in half and give that 48 and that 49. That'll give me 50. Yeah, this is just a couple of machines I've got sitting around just to make the odd thing I need. Right, let's look at the hub terminal. So, we've cleared all of them in the first one, which is all the hub upgrades. I think we did most of those being at the first episode, if I recall. Tier 1, I've done all of the game-based milestones. These are the first 3 here. So space building gave me all of the foundation stuff. Logistics gave me the conveyor belts and the mergers and stuff. Field research gave me the MAM and the map and those sorts of things. Recipe copier and these 3. And there's actually 2 off the side that we can't see. They're all mods. The reason why these ones aren't done is because I need steel beams and I haven't unlocked, or I might have just unlocked steel production recently. Tier 2, first one was a mod, which is the counter limiter. That is actually, before I go any further, that's actually in the Awesome Sync. So part of one of the ones in either 1.1 or 1.0, I can't remember where it was, where they released this, where they put this in. But they actually put into, where is it? Architecture. Where did they put it? Management. Yes. Conveyor throughput. So that's obviously linked to a tier now, it would seem. Tier / milestone. And that then unlock it in the shop here to then be purchasable using the coupons. Oh, I like it how you can activate dark mode in here. Cool. So that's something I'll be looking forward to. Therefore, I shouldn't need that mod anymore, but we'll see what that counter throughput thing is actually like in the actual game. So what have we got? We've got all of tier 2 done. So we've got throughput, we've got part assembly, which is how I'm able to make the rotors and the smart plating, plus the assembly machine itself. Obstacle clearing, that's basically the chainsaw. Jump pads, which is a way to get around. Basically you build them and then you literally jump from one spot to another. I might actually do that to get from here to the power area quickly, but we'll come back to that. Resource Sync bonus program, that's basically the Awesome Shop and the Awesome Sync. And Logistics level 2, so I've now got Mark II belts, which I'm using primarily to get the most things around. And the power checker is also a mod, so don't worry about that, but I have activated it. Tier 3, I've done most of them. One I just did here was unlock steel production, which allows me to get steel beams, pipes, and actually allow it to make the versatile framework needed for the phase of the current phase of the project for the space elevator. And the last one in here is enhanced asset security. That's basically a weapon. The most important thing I'm going to get out of there is I'm actually going to get the 3 inventory slots. So I might actually activate that one because that'll come in handy, those extra slots. So I'll activate that, but while we go back, we'll just go back to here. Tier 4, I've not done anything in here at all, and I probably won't for a while because nothing in here I particularly need. So we've got blueprints, which we probably would use a bit later on in the game, but not at the moment. Mark 3 of logistics gives us Mark 3 belts, etc. Big advantage in there would be the industrial containers, but not really needing that to them now, so not a big advantage, but that's one thing. Advanced steel production, that gives us the Mark 2 miners, which is kind of useful. And not much more. Automated wiring is needed for the project parts, so we need that at some point. Enhanced power cube, power infrastructure. The battery will probably be useful to have at this point, just to have a bit of battery storage for the power network. Not much more. We might use the power platforms to get power to those other areas that have got, especially that coal mine that's way down. That coal miner, just to get a sense, is not there. That's the power. The coal miner is. Oh, okay, it doesn't actually show it on the map. That's interesting. Must be some parts of the map I need to unlock at some point. Where was I? And the last bit here is hopper tubes, which are a way to get around the map, around the environment. So at some point we'll probably unlock some of those because that'll be a better version of getting around than where is they? When we start using these jump pads sort of things. That's what we've got. So what's the current process? So we'll get that milestone done to get that extra enhanced or inventory slots. Beyond that, it's really just going to be getting the smart plating made to 1,000 and then changing this production line. Or I may in fact leave this production line intact and just let it go and then build a completely new one to do versatile frameworks. I'm actually not too sure what the versatile framework actually is in terms of the actual recipe. What's it need? There we go. So it needs modular frames and steel beams. One of the modular frames and 12 beams to make 2 of those. That's a fairly intensive process because the steel beams are steel ingots into steel beams to then make that, which requires coal and iron ore to be combined in a foundry to make the steel ingots. Then the modular frames are in reinforced plates and rods, quite a lot of rods per setup to make the modular frames. So, and we'll still need smart plating for other things down the track. So what we may end up doing is I started to build, this should be over here somewhere. You can see it's just on the peak of that little hill there, little conveyor belt there. That's coming from another iron ore deposit that is basically over the hill a fair way. In fact, if we do that and do that, they are, if we do this little ping, that one there at 227. It's a pure one as well, so that's good. So the idea would be to bring that in all the way across and probably somewhere in this direction, come down here and probably either build another level on top of this and start building the production chain for versatile frameworks, or maybe just build it in a whole new section somewhere. I'm not too sure what I'll do, but that's the next thing to do once we've got the smart plating just about done. Whether we then use reinforced plate from here to go up to the next, up into that level, that's an option. So we'll have to look at that at some point, but that's the next sort of big plan to do, is that piece of work. There's not much more to say at this point. Let me just grab the things out of here that oh, that hasn't got power. That would be useful. Oh, I'm going to cable. Thankfully I've got a lot over here. That's not going to be enough. I'm just going to take it off that guy. Alright. Ooh, 98 plates. That's a good number of plates. Grab those as well. So we can just walk up to here and make some. What can we make actually? You can see we can make modular frames here. Actually, I'll make some rods since that's what I need for the current milestone. Need 600. That's an awful lot of rods. So that's why we may just bring in that extra run of iron ore that I've got, and just have a smelter and a constructor just continually make rods to clear that milestone requirement, because that's a lot of rods to make. So I might look at doing it. Actually, let's look at how the logistics of getting that going. Let's just see, how many of that have I got? 216, that should get us a fair way. Pretty close to here. It is actually being powered, so it is actually got stuff on it. So let's just bring this down to this point here. Bring this down. Hopefully get to the peak of this little hill. And then we've got clear run down to there. Cool. So the only option I've really got, I think, is to go up. So go to walls. And we'll just build a wall. Go up the standard 4 wall heights. And then we'll build a foundation up there, and then we'll go to here and into organisation, I think it is. No, where was it? God, where is it? Architecture. No, I don't want a railing, you idiot. I want a ladder. That's the only way I'm going to get up that wall. So we'll just put a ladder there. It'll allow us to get up to here. Right, now let's see how many foundations we've got. Not much. Bit of zoot mode. And maybe we can make this. That's probably big enough to put a smelter and a couple of smelter and a couple of constructors on it. So let's just do that. So we'll bring that guy in, we'll bring it into here, we'll bring it up this wall, and we'll start on this bit here. So we'll put a conveyor belt pole there, and we'll bring this in to say right. We'll bring that in to go to. Oh, I keep pressing. Okay, so let's first start building what we want. We're going to need a smelter, so I'll build one of those. Oh, we can already build one straight away. Cool. Let's lock that in. Good. Why can't I get the point of that? Oh, because I'm building a foundation, you idiot. That's better. Right. Alright, so that's going to be ingots. So that's 30 a minute. Now, I'm pretty sure that that node that I've got over... Oh! It's the first time I've had 4 damage. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure that node here is pure. It's got a Mark 1 mine on it, which I'm pretty sure will do 60 a minute. Now if it does 60 a minute, we can build 2 smelters, and we'll split that initial feed in. That might give us quite a few more. So I'm pretty sure that will be 60. It's 120, so it's actually a pure node. Okay, so that means we can go. Ooh, it's over there. I'll just grab this while we're in this area. Where is it? Little slug. Right. So we'll go. So 120, we can divide that into 4. Okay. That'll get through us our 600 rods really quickly, so that's actually kind of useful. So we'll split that incoming initial feed 4 times, and then we'll build 4 smelters. So let's just get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we'll put a logistic splitter. We'll put a splitter there. And that will allow us to split that. Actually, I might actually move that. And split it. Let's build it there instead. Dismantle that and that. And then we'll feed straight off of that into there. And then from here we can split again and have 4 smelters all basically in a row. Now that can then feed into 4 constructors to either make plates or rods, but what we might in fact do is build the 4 constructors first. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we need? Some cable. Oops. No. Didn't get 4 damage that time. Weird. Cable, cable, cable. There. So with the 4 of those, so we'll build the 4 constructors first. Reason being is they're physically wider than the... Is that enough room to put in? Should be, yep. That's third one. Hopefully the 4th one. Beautiful. So now what we want is in front of each pair, we'll need another splitter. So we'll basically put that I think that's where I want it, on that middle of that cross, yep. So that'll go into that, and then that'll split into that and that. And likewise, that tells us we're aligned with that, so that's all good. So now we go grab that. We don't really need to use Mark II. Could easily use that, and that feeds into... Okay, don't really like that. To there, and to there. They'll come in, split, and then split again, and then feed into those. Beautiful. Right, what we'll need now is a power pole, right there. We'll feed each of these... Oh, wait a second, that's not going to work at all, because we need the smelters first. So let's dismantle all this. So now what we'll do, before I do anything more, so we'll build a smelter directly in front of each one of these. And we might actually... No, we'll leave that one there. Right, now, can we build enough? Can we build 4 smelters? Yes, we can. So, smelter. Flip it round. Yeah, splitting it might be a bit tricky. We'll see how we go. We should get a line telling us that it lines. Ah. That's the one thing with the controller, is it's not quite as accurate obviously as a mouse would be. Right, I think that all lines up now. Alright, we'll just use a Mark I belt between each of these. Don't have to go too far, I might fall off the edge. Right, now... Yeah, this isn't going to really work where I've got that coming in, so let's dismantle this. What we need to do is put a splitter in front of each of these. We need to put a splitter there, and a splitter there. I keep pressing A to place the buildable when I should be pressing trigger. Let's do that into there. Why would that not work? I don't get why that does not. It default does, but straight goes all weird. Very odd. Right. So we might actually bring this iron ore in up here. Can I build another row? What have we got? We might be able to build another. Let's build one more line. I think that will do the job. There we go. So now we'll put our next splitter right about middle of this. Lock that in place. Yeah, that's perfect. And we'll just go into... That's really odd how it thinks that doesn't work. Really odd. And then what we'll do is we'll bring the iron ore in up there, and that's where we'll definitely need a Mark II belt to go into there. Right, that's looking really good. Right, so now we've got 8 machines up here, so power will be interesting. We'll have to make... We've got our power pole coming up there. We'll put... Only got 4 connections on each pole. So let's put a pole there for those 2 smelters. And there for those 2. So we'll join that to that, that to that to that. That to that, and then that to each of these smelters. And that's already now full, so okay. So now we'll have to build another pole basically there. And that will go its power from the first one, and then we'll go basically the same pattern. Put one into there, one to there. Let's find this other pole. So it's basically there. That. Alright, so let's put ingots. So each one of those is putting 30 a minute out. And this only needs, if we make this making all those rods, it's 15, so this is going to be overdone, so that's fine. Ingots. Rods. So we could in fact, if we had 4 power shards, we could in fact double the, actually we need more than that, we'd need 8 power shards to put 2 in each to double the output to match the input of the ingots of being 30 minutes. So 30 minute out to 50 minute in, so in reality we could build another 4, or alternatively you build 4 constructors, each getting 15, but I don't quite have the space just yet. Okay, so let's just get down here, and we'll grab, not that, we'll grab logistics and a Mark II conveyor belt, bring that down to here basically, belt that up to, that might just about join that. Not quite. Go back to default. Do that. Now, this particular setup is a load balance setup, so it's going to split everything evenly. So eventually when this iron ore gets to here, it'll come into this split. The way in which the game works, it will split left then right, then left then right, and then that'll do the same thing, and then they'll all basically get their iron ore all pretty much at the same time. So here we go. We'll see it come in, we'll see it split. I think it'll go left first then right, I'm not too sure. Yep, went left first. You see it come into there. It's now splitting that way. And they will go into there, and they'll just start to stack up. Right, that's because there's no power coming into here, so we'll just attach ourselves to that pole, I think. Yep. And away they go. So these are obviously really good layout if you've got the space to do them on. So you've got obviously a lot of space to do it because you've got to get all the belts in place. You can compact it up a little bit. I mean, I could bring, can't get that any closer because that's a perfect lamp, but that could have been, that smelter could be a fraction more towards the belt, towards the splitter, to give it a bit of a lesser belt run. But you can see you leave a lot of space ahead of, in front of each machine to be able to do a load balance setup like this. But you can see this looks really good if you get on a side here, because all of the stuff comes out in a perfect, almost perfect line. So it looks somewhat mesmerising when you look at that. Now what's going to happen next is they're going to go into that into that destructor. They're already starting to make rods. The problem's going to be is they're going to get to 100 rods or 200 rods and then stop, whatever the maximum is. So what we also need to do is get some, well, it's probably going to hurt me, yep. We'll grab some more concrete. 288 will do. And we'll grab some more regular plates, which I think will be in one of these. Is that one I did it in? No. Oh. What have I got? 16 is probably not quite enough. Can I make more? No, let's see if there's any spare in the smart plating setup. What we'll do is we'll basically build 4 of these. So I need a bunch of rods, which is convenient because I'm making them. So probably need about 100 plates, I think, to get them still enough space to fit them up the top, and also to I'll actually just run this out. Just grab those 150. Alright, get back up here. So first we'll just sneak down the side here. And get on the other side of these things. And we probably will need about, I reckon, a 3 by... That should be more than enough. Right, now I'll just grab some rods out of here. Right, so now what we can do is right in front of each of these outputs, we'll just go right there. Organisation, that, and put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Speed won't matter. We'll go regular Mark 1 out of that into there. Alright. That's going to give us a lot of rods relatively quickly. Let me land on that without hurting myself. I'm just curious how much power I'm now drawing. We've just gone and built 8 more machines up there. As you can see, we're now sitting at the 170 mark. So I think we've gone up by about maybe 25 or so, not that much. So we've still got a fair bit of overhead. We're probably using about half of our actual power, a bit over half, so that's fine. Right. So that will build us an awful lot of rods. We can at that some point also just turn that into and turn some of those into making iron plates. So we don't need to stick them making rods. But eventually we'll probably turn that into the versatile framework. At least the get down to the frameworks. It's gone off the bottom, so I can't see where it is. At least the modular frame set part of the versatile frameworks. We've got to make 1,000 of those modular versatile frameworks, therefore we're going to need 1,000 modular frames. And as I said, the modular frames require 12 rods plus 3 reinforced plates. And the reinforced plates rods, plates and screws, so it's all iron ore basically to make that stuff. So we could basically use that whole second level there just to make the modular frames part of the setup. But that will be for another day. That'll do for episode 2. So a fair bit, went through a fair bit. I'm playing this a lot after, when I'm between this recording. I trying to do this a couple of different ways to see what works best for me in terms of getting the videos out there. I think what I've just done here probably will work best. I'll just come in, do a bunch of work, record a session showing you what I've done, do a little bit extra in that episode, and then call it a day like this. So we'll see if that works out. But until the next one, until episode 3, hopefully in a week or so, that is SoloFactory Season 2. Till the next one, thank you for watching.